When I was young, around the age of 8, I had to wear a dress. I hate wearing dresses. They make you feel prissy. I was short then. Ugh, creeps me out. My aunt invited me and my sisters to go somewhere. So we all got together. We all got in the car together, and my mother went some other place. She said, go ahead, you go with her. So we drove and we arrived at a church. My auntie backed the car in and parked. We all got out. The 4 of us, we went in the church while my mother went some other place. We was told to go sit down. Now my sisters, they went to my left and they sat down. But then my auntie, she tapped me on the shoulder. She said, oh no, you come with me. I kind of looked back and forth. She said, no, come on. I thought, okay, fine. Then I noticed something. My mom, she was in the air. Wondering, thought to myself, what is this? What's up? Honestly, like she was dead. What's happening? I looked at my auntie and she said, oh, she kind of shrugged it off. Come on. Don't worry. I observed this motion. It was people carrying her by her feet. What does this mean? I asked my aunt. She said, come on, sit down. Come on. We sat down right in the front. So I sat there and I looked around. I first noticed a guy in a wheelchair. I noticed another guy who would rock back and forth. I looked at my auntie in curiosity. She kind of shrugged it off again. I was still just wondering, what is going on here? All these people with these ailments. So now the preacher, he's preaching. He's continuing to preach and preach and preach. 19, 20, 20 something. Went over my head. So as my feet rocked back and forth, they made noise. My aunt, she tapped me on the leg and said, stop it. But I'm stubborn. I continue to do it. Tap, 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 tap. She told me to stop. I still continued. And the preacher continued to preach. Out of curiosity, I looked down. I see the preacher put his hand on this man's head. The man in the wheelchair. My eyes are kind of big as the guy kind of reared back. Then he went to the next person. The guy who was rocking back and forth. And he continued to go down the line. I looked at my sisters and they just smiled. I looked at my auntie, she just shrugged it off again. Blah, 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 blah. I said, okay. The preacher continued to come down the line until he stood in front of me. I watched his hand in slow motion coming towards me. As my eyes got big, it freaked me out. So I started kicking and scratching and punching and kicking and scratching and punching. He tried to defend himself. Now his other man, some people, they came to help him. Tried to stop me from hitting him. But I continued to kick him, punch him. My sisters just sat there and laughed, pointed and laughed. I'm angry. I'm still fighting. I'm scared. I think I'm going to die, man. Now my auntie, she's embarrassed, so she grabs me and proceeds to walk outside. My sisters, and they're just sitting there laughing. They're laughing. So all four of us went outside and sat down. My aunt just looked at us, looked at me, angry. My sisters just laughed. Then my mother arrived. She opened the door and stormed out there. She looked around and said, "What is wrong?" My auntie started to explain about what happened at church. My sisters, they just laughed. They thought this was hilarious. My mother looked at one and looked at the other one. Then she said, "You didn't inform her what the church was? What is it for? What was it about? The blessings, the healings, putting the hands on one's head?" She was angry. I was scared. My heart was beating. She said again, "You did not explain to her?" One sister said, "Oh, well, you see." And then my mother slapped the piss out of her. Slapped her so hard she made silly faces. I looked over there and thought to myself, Now the other one that was laughing, my mother said, "Look at me," and explained. She said, "Well, and then mom slapped the piss out of her too. She also made silly faces. I looked and thought to myself, got what you deserved.